Hi guys, it's Lori. Hey, I wanted to share with you my weekend. I had a lot of work up in the White Mountain area. I had some work on the western part of the state, heading up north. That's in the Dartmouth region, and then in the White Mountain area. And then today, in a different part of the White Mountain area, which is also where Maura Murray went missing. So I'm going to kind of go by that site too. But I wanted to share with you where I am and what I'm doing, and let you know. I know this was a work weekend for me. It wasn't, unfortunately, it wasn't just a vacation. If it was just a vacation, I would have had my animals with me. Well, at least my doggies. You can't take your cats traveling, but I got to tell you how much I missed my kids. I get in this little cabin and I'm thinking, I do want to finish my book. This would be a perfect place to come all by myself and just sit. Maybe I'll do that. I could finish. It's a matter of typing and getting a publisher. It's all done. So I could probably finish it if I came up here for a week by myself. Anyhow, with this veil being thinner, with the shift going on, with all this stuff happening, I'm just going to move for a second. So if this bounces, I apologize. Actually, I'm going to pause you. Okay, sorry about that. With the shift going on, with the veil being thinner, with all the stuff that we're all, well, not all of us, but a lot of us are going through, it hasn't been, excuse me, it hasn't been the easiest time. Many of us are being under attack. We're dealing with attacks. We're dealing with, things of this world anyway, and the world is going out of its mind. And I still think it's all connected, and then people are different, all these different things that are happening. You're dealing with it too. Do you see those mountains behind me? Isn't that wonderful? This is Twin Mountain. That's where I stayed. It was kind of central to everything. But anyway, so, I'm driving yesterday and I got a lot of good pictures of the White Mountains. I happen to love the White Mountains. I'm a New Hampshireite. I've seen much of the Appalachian Mountains along the countryside. I've seen the Poconos, of course, Vermont's Green Mountains, Lookout Mountain in Tennessee. But I got to tell you, maybe it's because I'm from New Hampshire, but I love the White Mountains. They're beautiful. I'll share some pictures. But, so I'm driving along and I'm thinking, in Matthew and in other parts of the Bible, but in Matthew, I think Matthew 17, I think, Jesus says to his apostles, ye of little faith, with just the faith the size of a mustard seed, you could move a mountain. And, we hear this in church, or we hear people talk about it, we hear it in Bible study, whatever. And you think, yeah, okay, I get what it means. With faith, I can move, I can get through my problems, whatever. But, I'm looking at these enormous mountains, and I know that there are mountains around the world that are much, much bigger than this. But I'm looking at the White Mountains, and they're enormous. They're in front of me, and they're enormous. And I think to myself, Jesus we have three options. Either he was totally crazy out of his mind, he was an absolute liar, an egomaniac, or he was who he says he was. He proved he was who he says he was. So, and I know just in my life alone, I believe it. Nobody can convince me otherwise. So, knowing that Jesus said that, it's true. And I'm thinking, look at the size of this enormous piece of land. Now, of course, what he meant, it was a metaphor. But if this much, a mustard seed, this big, that much faith. And when you're going through a really hard time, sometimes that's all you can conjure up is that much faith. I remember, when my kids were ripped from me, my heart crushed. I thought I had been crushed before because I had been raped, I had been beaten. I went through my divorce, childhood abuse, all of that. But when my kids were ripped from me, that pain was intense. And for a split second, I felt betrayed by God, but it only lasted a split second. And then, of course, I was so remorseful. Why do people jump to blaming God? But anyway, that's another subject in itself. Just this. So sometimes when you're going through a really difficult time, it's hard to conjure up faith. And sometimes that's all you can get. Just to get that little tiny mustard seed bit of faith is difficult. But you know what? God is the author of our faith. So all you got to do is ask him, please give me faith through this, right? And think about the enormous size of a mountain. I'm going to show you some pictures, right, on this video. And think about it. Just think about how big a mountain is. I'm going to turn my camera around and I'm going to show you just this mountain. And this is Twin Mountain. It's not that big. It's not that big. But I want to show it to you. Let me see if I can get it. It's behind me, see? See that right there? Let's see if I can make it bigger. I don't know if I can. Nope, zoom is not supported in this mode, it says. But look at that. Look at that mountain. Let me see if I can. Look at that. Are you seeing it? I can't tell because I can't see. Anyway, I'm sorry if you're not seeing it. I'm sorry, but I'm going to show you some pictures of it. There it is behind me, and that's across the street down the way. And I got some really great shots, not just of that mountain, but others, the whole presidential range. And this is the little cabin I stayed in. Very inexpensive as well. The woman that owns the place is great. The name of this place is Boulder in Twin Mountain. So if you want to rent a place, really inexpensive and really clean and great. It's a 1-bedroom with a little living room, kitchenette, and it was cheaper than most little divey rooms, okay? And tell her that Lori sent you, okay? Really. But anyway, think about that. Are you going through a hard time? Are you struggling right now? I'm serious. It made me think about it. Every time I come up here, it makes me think about it. Jesus said the faith of a mustard seed, and you can move that mountain. You say to that mountain, move, and it has no choice but to move. That's the power of God. You can't do that on your own. You can't do that with a positive thought. You can't do that, just with positive thinking or, all the stuff that the New Age movement teaches you. Yes, do gems and crystals have some kind of energy? Absolutely they do. But that's because God gave it to them. They're from the earth. They have that energy. The laws of physics apply, the laws of metaphysics apply, but God is the creator of all that, and that's what's lacking in some people. But you know what? The faith with God behind it, you can move that mountain. You can change things. The biggest part is we want things now, or we want things exactly the way that we want them, and we can't see any other way. God sees the big picture. So the hardest part, I think, in the hard times, because we want what we want and we want it now, I think the hardest part is truly trusting him. But when you come to know who he is, how much he really loves you, because that was the part I struggled with. I didn't realize how much he loved me. I really didn't. But when you come to realize that, you can trust him with everything. He's your dad. He's your daddy. He's not just the creator of all. He's your daddy. You can trust him. He doesn't wish you any harm. A kid doesn't like to be disciplined or grounded either, right? I mean, not that God grounds us, but you know what I mean. Going through hard times, we might think, he doesn't care. He never leaves us. But anyway, so trust in him, and you can move that mountain. That's, like I said, the hardest part. We want what we want it now, and sometimes we can think of no other way. Like, say it's a financial issue, and you're thinking, well, I need this much money, and that's the only way. Well, God is saying, well, I just told so-and-so to give you that much money. Well, you can't even fathom that. Or he said, I just opened this job for you, or whatever the case may be. Will the money fall from the sky? Chances are no. But it might feel that way in the way that it comes. You just have to trust him. And we think, I have to work. Well, maybe that's not what he's saying to you. If you're hearing a message, God tells us to rest in our faith. That doesn't mean you do nothing. That doesn't mean you just sit around and wait. But it means you're at peace and you're at rest while you're waiting on him. Situation with my kids, oh Lord, that was hard for me. But you know what? The moment that I truly let go and trusted him, everything turned around. When I was raped, I had to trust him. Really bad stuff happens in this world. It's a fallen world. And now with this veil being thin and the shift going on, things have gotten even crazier and it's gone on hyper speed with the evil in the world. And a lot of it I don't understand. I know you don't understand. We have to stick together as a community. We have to stick together in faith. Remember, when three or more gather in his name, he'll be there. And anything you ask and agree upon on this earth, he'll make it so. So let's stand together. There's power in numbers, okay? And there's power in faith. The faith of a little tiny, tiny mustard seed. Look up a mustard seed and see how big it is. It's amazing. And you can move that enormous mountain. You got a mountain you're facing? Trust him. If you need help, if you need somebody to pray with you, if you need somebody to stand in faith and agreement with you, if two or more gather in his name and agree on any one thing, that will happen, okay? All right? We got to make sure our motives are pure, too. We can't be like, okay, I want $1 billion just for me, and I want to do this and this and this, or I want that man, but he's married, and, it can't be like that. Our motives have to be pure, and we have to be aligned with God. So first things first, trust him. Know how much he loves you. Know how holy he is. Know who he is. He's not your buddy. He's your God. But he loves you like your dad. And if your dad on earth didn't love you, he still loves you. He loves you like a dad should love you. And beyond any human parent can love. If you have children, you know how much you love your children. Multiply that by 1 billion. And that's God's love. You can trust him. So first you got to know who he is. Next, you got to be able to trust him, know how much he loves you, and know that what he says is true. Look up a mustard seed and look up a mountain. You can move that. All right, you guys, I'll be back later. I'm going to stop by Mora's site. Hope you're having a great day, a great weekend. I'm going to share a bunch of pictures on Google Plus too. I just love the White Mountains. Like I said, anybody want to set me up here for a week? It's really, really cheap. I'll get my book published. I'm just kidding. Not really. If you want to make donations, please do so. Every dollar counts. PayPal.me/Light Insights, or you can go to the GoFundMe page my friend set up, which is GoFundMe/please-help my friend, or you could message me and I could invoice you with a charity thing. Every little penny counts. And like I said, I'm kidding about the book thing. Not really. I want to do it, but I'm not asking you to pay for that. But there are a lot of people in need right now. And I'm working on it regardless if I get donations or not. But it comes out of my own pocket. So donations are greatly appreciated. If you have something you want to advertise, if you want me to put in a good word for you, I absolutely will. Speaking of that, I want to tell you about knitted knockers real quick. Knitted knockers is it's a knitted prosthetic for women who have suffered not a lumpectomy, a mastectomy because of breast cancer. You can get one, you can get two. You could go to their website, Knitted Knockers, or you could message me. My friend Kelly makes them and sells them. So give me a message if you need that, or if you're interested in that. She's got all different kind of funky colors. I know the website will give you one free, I think, but Kelly has she'll make whatever you want. So anyway, take care, guys, and I will talk to you real soon.